hear so many sounds in our surroundings in our daily life. When a lion roars, we hear a sound. If we pluck the string of a musical instrument, say a guitar, we hear a sound. Water pouring into a glass, bat hitting the ball, water hitting the rocks, etc. are some of the examples of different sounds. Sound plays a very important role in our life, and most importantly, it helps us to communicate with each other. Have you ever thought about what actually produces the sound? To answer this question, first we need to understand vibration. What is vibration? It is to and fro or back and forth motion of an object. For example, if we stretch this rubber band with one hand and pluck it in the middle, it starts to move back and forth. In short, it starts to vibrate. It is this vibration that produces the sound. Yes, anything that vibrates will produce sound. We know that a vibration is nothing but to and fro or back and forth motion of the body. In the previous lesson, we gave the basic idea of what produces sound. It is vibration that produces sound. So if we set any body into vibration, it will give us some sound. Some vibrations we can clearly see, but some we can't. Examples? Are you familiar with this shape? What is it called? It's called a dholak. It's a two-headed drum, a musical instrument commonly used in India. When you strike any of the two flat surfaces of the dholak, they start to vibrate and produce sound. Do you know what the two flat surfaces of the dholak are called? They are called membranes. Yes, it's a membrane of a dholak which produces the sound. In musical instruments like the sitar and the guitar, it is the vibration of strings when plucked that produces the sound. These vibrations are then transferred to the soundboard, which adjusts the loudness of the sound. What about the flute? How is the sound produced? In a flute, the vibrations are produced by the air column. When we breathe into its mouth hole, the air inside the flute starts vibrating and we hear the sound. Do you hear the buzzing when a mosquito is close to your ears? Ever wondered how that sound is made? The sound is because of flapping of wings by a mosquito. Yes, the wings of mosquito are vibrating, and it's this vibration that produces the buzz we hear. Let us do one experiment. Take a string, hold both its ends in your hands like this. Stretch the string such that it does not form any curves in the middle. Now tell your friend to pluck the string from the center. Do you see the string vibrating? Yes, the string vibrates, and you'd probably have heard some sound too. Let us do one more experiment. Take a frying pan. Strike the pan with the spoon like this. Do you hear sound? Yes, you do. But do you see the pan or spoon vibrating? Not really, but you can feel the spoon vibrating in your hand. If you touch the pan immediately after the strike, you will feel that the pan is also vibrating. Wait for the vibrations to stop and then pour some water into the pan. We see that nothing happens to the water. Now strike the pan again. Do you see something strange now? These strange things are called waves. They are generated because of the vibration in the pan. So there are some vibrations that we are able to see and some vibrations that we can only feel. That sound needs a medium for propagation. That is, it requires some medium to travel from one place to another. But how does it really travel through the medium? What happens to the particles of the medium? Let us find out. We now know that sound is produced by vibration. When the object is vibrating, it sets the particles of the medium around into vibration. In the process, the nearest particles to the source gets displaced from their mean or equilibrium position. They start to collide with the particles adjacent to them. The adjacent particles then also get displaced from their mean positions. They in turn do the same to their neighboring particles. This process continues in the medium till the sound reaches our ear. We see that we create some disturbance flowing through the medium. This is the way that sound travels through the medium. We see that particles of the medium are not traveling from the source to the human ear. It is the disturbance produced by a source which is traveling in the medium. The particles are merely oscillating from their mean positions. This disturbance created by the vibrating object in the medium is what we call a sound wave. But what does this disturbance look like? Let us study this with the help of a tuning fork. Here we take air as a medium of propagation. Here we have a tuning fork made up of steel. This shows the initial condition of the air particles of the medium when the tuning fork is in its original position, that is, when tuning fork is not vibrating. When we strike its prong on a rubber band, we start hearing a sound. How does the sound travel through the medium? The two prongs of tuning fork are vibrating. Let us concentrate on motion of one of the prongs first. Say the one on the right. When it's away from its mean position, it pushes and compresses the air particles around it. This creates a high pressure region, also called compression. This compression travels in the medium as a disturbance. Here the density is high. That is, the particles are very close to each other. When the prong comes towards its mean position, the pressure on the right decreases and keeps on decreasing further as the prong continues its motion towards left. This creates a low pressure region, also called as rarefaction. We see that at this point, the compression in the form of disturbance has reached this region. This rarefaction also travels in the medium as a disturbance. Here the density of particles is less. That is, the particles are far away from each other. As it continues to vibrate, we get a series of these compressions and rarefactions. This continuous sequence of compressions and rarefactions is what we call sound waves. Yes, the sound waves travel in the form of compressions and rarefactions. Instead of the tuning fork, if we take any other source of sound, say the speaker, then the sound waves generated by this object will also travel in the form of compressions and rarefactions. Here is one interesting question. Is the sound wave a mechanical wave? Do you know what a mechanical wave is? The mechanical wave is a wave that requires some material medium to travel. And as we know, a sound wave also requires some medium to travel. So yes, it is a mechanical wave.